So greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to another Deck Tech. Today is probably one of, I'd say I think this deck is in my top 3 all-time favorite decks that I own. I have like 20 some of them. Don't judge me, I have an issue, but that's okay. It's not a problem yet. Anyways, moving right along. It is an Is-It deck, as you can see, and it is Riel the Everwise. She costs 1 generic and blue-red. She's a legendary creature, human wizard. Her abilities are, Riel the Everwise gets +1/+0 for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Whenever you discard one or more cards for the first time each turn, draw that many cards. Long story short, we're going to be wheeling and dealing all kinds of things, mainly our hands, if not a couple cards at a time. Now, I got a bunch of spells that do this, and without getting too much into detail, it's basically anything that reads discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards, and since it's the first time I'm discarding, I'll draw 2 cards off of that. This, discard 1 card, draw a card, then draw 2 extra cards. Basically, everything that says discard your hand or discard a certain amount of cards, do something, everything is just big and discard, draw a bunch off of her, because the more instants and sorceries you put in the graveyard by either casting or wheeling them, she gets bigger by 1, which is super nice. And then moving right along, going into other spells that really help or I feel are necessary for this deck specifically, because yes, discarding is the whole point of the game, but sometimes you want some secondary effects off the discarding. So you can have something like solve the equation, search your library for an instant or sorcery card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. Another one of these will be Mystical Tutor, search your library for an instant or sorcery card, reveal it, then shuffle and put it on the top. Kind of like the last one, except it doesn't go in your hand, goes on top of your library. Then we got Personal Tutor, search your library for a sorcery card, reveal it, shuffle it, put that card on top. Like I said, a lot of ways to draw more cards, or at least look for a card that you want, put it on top of the deck or in your hand. Next up, we have Fervent Mastery. You can pay 4 rather than pay the spell's mana cost of 5. If the 4 cost was paid, an opponent discards any number of cards, then draws that many cards. If you just cast this for whatever cost you want, search your library for up to 3 cards, put them in your hand, shuffle, then discard 3 cards at random. Long story short, you can look for any card, even if you discard them and put them in the graveyard, your commander gets bigger. Next up, we got Gandalf's Sanction. It's a sorcery for 3 mana, same cost as Riel. Gandalf's Sanction deals X damage to target creature where X is the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. So this is a nice way to like, hey, I'm going to hit your creature for 14 because I have 14 instant and sorcery spells in my graveyard. And since it's a 1/1, 13 damage goes through and hits them. So that's pretty cool. Last but not least is usually just a KO card if she gets big enough. It is Chandra's Ignition. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. Sorcery that costs 3 generic, red, red. I've ended a game like that maybe twice, and it's been absolutely amazing just to see people's reactions of, oh, I'm going to hit you. It's very fun. Moving along to some cards that are kind of like a mixture of things. They're not really instant sorceries by themselves or enchantments and artifacts. I kind of put them together because I think they're really cool. First one is going to be Glamdring. It is from Lord of the Rings. It is a 2-drop, 2-cost legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has first strike and gets +1 for each, or +1/+0 for each instant sorcery in my graveyard. Essentially, it's the same thing as Riel's ability, but now it's going to get +2/+0 for each one. Whenever your equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the damage without paying its mana cost, which is just about everything in my deck because I think the highest thing is 5. I might be wrong. Pretty sure the highest spell in here is 5. Next up, we got Wizard class, simply because of that first thing. I don't want a maximum hand size. The other 2 I'm perfectly okay with. Don't really use them that much. Don't really level this up at all. But it's just mainly to have no maximum hand size while I keep discarding and drawing a bunch of cards. Because with this next card, something like this, it can get out of hand. Fairy's Ageless Insight is a 4-drop legendary enchantment, 2 colorless, blue. If I were to draw a card, except the first one I draw each turn, I draw 2 of those cards instead. So for example, instead of, let's say I play a spell that says draw 2 cards, instead of drawing 2, I draw 4. Pretty simple, very fun, gets out of hand, gets blown up almost immediately as I play it. I've only played maybe 1 game where this stayed on the battlefield for longer than it should, almost decked myself completely, but came back to win. It was very fun. Last but not least is Runechanter's Pike. It's a 2-drop mana, or 2-drop artifact equipment. Basically says the same thing. Equipped creature has first strike and gets +X/+0, where X is the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Equip 2. It's the same thing as the first one, as Glamdring. It's It just says plus X plus O, which is kind of weird instead of just playing plus 1/0, but it's just a big boost to it. I thoroughly enjoy it. I usually put it on just about any creature, not just Riel, because usually this deck doesn't really do commander damage. She's just there to kind of scare people, to target her instead of other things around the field. The other things on the field, you might ask, are very simple. We have a Gutter Snipe that whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell, deals 2 damage to each opponent. This gets out of hand because if I keep discarding or playing stuff from my graveyard, I'm going to keep hitting you for 2, 2, 2, 2. You get the gist over and over. Next up, I got a Laboratory Maniac. If I would draw a card, while my library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. This is another win con for me, just because, like I said, I almost decked myself before. So if he's on the battlefield and I draw and there's nothing there, I win instead of losing. Next up, we got Storm Kiln Artist. He gets +1/+0 for each artifact I control, which won't be a lot. Whenever I cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token. He is just here so I can play him, get treasure tokens, and cast more stuff. He will never get massive because there's not a lot of artifacts in here. Next up, I have Harmonic Prodigy. The prowess part doesn't matter, but I'll still read it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. If an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Now that'll be Riel, because Riel, if you didn't see what she was, she's a human wizard, which means that whenever that first part triggers, or the second part triggers, it'll trigger an additional time, which means I get to do it one more time, because it's only the first time I discard a card, or multiple cards per turn. But you might be asking yourself, hey, how am I going to pay for all this? Because I'm not making a bunch of treasures, I don't have a lot of artifacts, so how am I going to play all these spells? Well, play a lot of stuff that's kind of like this, Mizzix of the Is Magnus. It's a 4-drop, 2 colorless, blue-red legendary creature, goblin wizard, that reads, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value greater than the number of experience counters you have, you get an experience counter. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each experience counter you have. Long story short, if I play a 3-drop, I get 1 experience counter. 2-drop, get an experience counter. Now, this kind of maxes out at 5 because that Chandra's Ignition is there, but all it takes is for me to play 3 spells that are increasingly bigger, or at least bigger than the amount of experience counters I have, and I'm already at 3 less for every spell I play, so I'm at most probably paying 2 mana of red, blue-red, just any variations of the 2. Next up, got Baral, Chief of Compliance. Instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. That's basically all I use them for. I'm not really using that second ability, where it's whenever a spell or ability I control counters a spell, I may draw a card. If I do, discard a card. Not a lot of counters in here. They're just kind of like there to stop you from getting rid of my board, essentially. Next up, we have Haughty Djinn. It's a flyer. Haughty Djinn's power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. There's a theme there. There's a lot of stars, or gets +1/0 because you have instant sorceries in the graveyard. But it's usually that last ability that I go for. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So long story short, I'm just trying to make things a lot cheaper. Next up is probably one of my favorite Izzet cards that come out in the last like 5-6 years. Melik Reforged Researcher, 3 colorless blue-red, a legendary creature, weird detective, which I think is funny the way that's he's just a weird guy, Melik Reforged Researcher's power and toughness are equal to twice the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Then, the second part of his ability, the first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast. So Chandra's Ignition, if it's the first spell I cast, 2 red mana, boom. Like I said, he jumps in, he gets +2, or he gets twice as the amount of instant sorceries in my graveyard. So if I have 10, he's a 20/20. He gets crazy. He's mainly here. I don't think I've ever hit somebody with him in the deck. He's just here to kind of be a target for everyone else, to leave everything else alone. Kind of like, Riel. They kind of do the same thing. Everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to hit you with this 20/20. Not really. I'm going to keep pinging you because I'm casting a bunch of stuff, or I'm going to keep pinging you because I'm discarding a bunch of cards, stuff like that. Last but not least is everyone's little favorite goblin. Goblin, Electromancer, blue-red. Creature, Goblin Wizard, instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I kind of wish they had a card that did it for each one, each guild, like 2-color guild, just the same thing, where it's just like, oh, green and red cost less, blue and black cost less. But who knows, maybe I'm missing something. There's too many infinite combos or too many things that abuse that, so that's why they didn't do it. Moving right along, we got some stuff that you might be asking, like, well, besides the sorceries, do you have anything else that helps you, like, discard or get you stuff? And I'm like, yes, I do. First up, we have Jace's Archivist. Costs 1 colorless, blue. He's a 2/2 creature, a Vidalcan wizard. He has an ability that reads, blue tap. Each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. So let's say if I have an opponent that drew a bunch, he's got 12 cards, boom, everyone discards. Now everyone draws 12, but for me, if it's the first time I discarded, I draw 24, which is kind of crazy. So I would get 12. Well, I would get, I guess technically that's wrong. It's not 24. I would get however many I discarded, let's say 4 plus his 12, which is 16. So, like I said, sometimes I don't know how to read, but I do my best to try to fix what I mistakenly said, you know? Next up, we have Magus of the Bazaar. It's a 1 colorless blue creature human wizard with tap, draw 2 cards, then discard 3 cards. Long story short, it's tap, you get 5 cards, or you get deeper in your deck, or make a creature bigger. It's just really good in my opinion. I have some friends who don't like this card, but hey, that's their problem, not mine. Next up, we have Magus of the Wheel, 2 colorless red creature human wizard with the ability that reads, 1 colorless red tap. Sacrifice Magus of the Wheel. Each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. I'm getting at least, I think minimum, I think I get 10 cards off of this every time, because I usually get down to 3, but I always have a fat stack of cards in my hand, depending on who I'm playing against, what I'm playing against. But yeah, usually 10 is the like magic number I get from this. Super nice, thoroughly enjoy it. Next up, we have Glinthorn Buccaneer, colorless red creature Minotaur Pirate with haste. Whenever you discard a card, Glinthorn Buccaneer deals 1 damage to each opponent. Next ability is 1 colorless red, discard a card, draw a card. Activate this ability only if Glinthorn Buccaneer is attacking. It's very fun. He's mainly here for that second ability. Just whenever I discard a card, he deals 1 damage to each opponent instead of 1 or more cards. So if I discard 14, he's dealing 14 damage. It's very nice, gets out of hand super quick. Like I said, a lot of people don't look at him. They look at Riel, or they look at the other guy who's a power and toughness, or like 14-18 or 20-20, 38-38. Like, they usually don't look at him. Next up, we have Surly Badgesaur. Whenever I discard a creature card, put a 1/1 counter on him. Whenever I discard a land card, create a treasure token. Whenever I discard a non-creature, non-land card, Surly Badgesaur fights up to 1 target creature I don't control. He's here to kind of help me either make mana, make him bigger, or spot removal on things. So if I discard, a bunch of stuff, you're like, hey, boom, he gets hit. Boom, he gets hit. Boom, he gets hit. Just fight a bunch of stuff, get it off the board. Next up, Psychosis Crawler. 5 generic mana for an artifact creature, Phyrexian Horror. Psychosis Crawler's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in my hand. Whenever I draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. So if I have him and Glinthorn Buccaneer on the field, I'm pinging you for 1 for every card I discard, and draining you for 1 for every card I draw. It's very fun. I've only had that combo work maybe once, and then I lost immediately afterwards because I got someone out of the game. The last 2 are very fun to use. I thoroughly enjoy them. They're just kind of in here to be fun, in my opinion. Melik Izzet Paragon, 4 colorless, blue-red, legendary creature, weird wizard. Play with the top of your card revealed, or top card of my library revealed. I may cast instant and sorcery spells from the top of my library. Whenever I cast an instant or sorcery card from my library, copy it. I may choose new targets for the copy. So, discarding, drawing, discarding, drawing, discarding, drawing, rinse and repeat is essentially what that is. Last but not least, we have the Locust God, 4 generic blue-red legendary creature god, flying. Whenever I draw a card, create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. He has another ability, 2 colorless, blue-red, draw a card, discard a card. Finally, when the Locust God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. It's very hard to keep him off the field if you don't exile him. And I draw a bunch of cards, so having a bunch of 1/1s with haste really does a mad amount of damage to people. But with that being said, I have 2 little combos here that I'm pretty sure everyone knows. If you see the colors blue-red, you always ask, hey, do you have that combo? And I do. Now, the next 2 cards are very similar. We have Ophidian Eye and Curiosity. They're both enchantment auras. Ophidian Eye costs 2 generic and a blue. Curiosity costs 1 blue mana. Ophidian Eye has Flash, enchant creature. Curiosity has enchant creature. They both read, whenever an enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Now, you might think, it's not combat damage, it's just damage in general. These next 2, you've probably seen a lot of. With Niv Mizzet Perun, with either one of those enchantments on him, you will get unlimited cards technically, but you'll deck yourself, and it's very hard not to do that because it's infinite. So long story short, whenever I draw a card, he deals 1 damage to somebody. Well, this says whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, not combat, just damage, I draw a card. So you can see how if he's enchanted, draw a card, deal 1 damage to you. This triggers, Draw a card. Well, guess what? He triggers. Deal 1 damage to you. Just keep that rolling. Keep it going. We have Niv Mizzet the Fire Mine. 2 generic, blue, blue, red, red. Legendary creature, dragon, wizard. Flying. Whenever I draw a card, Niv Mizzet the Fire Mine deals 1 damage to any target. So it's kind of the same thing, except he has a tap ability, lets him draw a card. So same thing. If he has Curiosity, oh look, I drew a card. He's going to deal 1 damage. Well, Curiosity procs. Draw a card. Deal 1 damage. Draw a card. You see what I'm going back and forth? But with all that being said, like I said, this is easily in my top 3 favorite commander decks that I own, and it's just super fun to play. I always love it because I always, like, a lot of people think, oh, you're going to be wheeling everybody. No, I usually wheel myself or just have myself discard and just have a fun time overall playing it. But with that being said, I thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to watch this video, and comment down below if you have any cards that you wish I'd put in here, because I did leave some cards out of the video just because they're just generic blue-red, you know, counters, deal damage, get rid of this, Chaos Warp, like, they don't really fit the discard theme. But yeah, if you want me to make any more videos, please let me know, because I have a lot more decks that I would love to talk about, if not make more of. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.